Okay, good evening, guys. How are you doing today? Good evening, online. Good evening. Okay, so did you completed your practicals? Everyone done? Super. How about online? Nice. Okay. So let me share my screen first. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. 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 So hope you had a nice weekend. You had a nice weekend, Sunday. Nice. Okay, so let's jump on. In our last class, what we did was we worked on AMIs and we worked on the snapshots, correct? And today, let's talk about volumes and lifecycle manager. Okay, so for that, what we do, we go and launch the EC2 instance. So you tell me now, so how to launch, So now you are experts on launching. Hmm? Nice. So what I do is I call it as server one. Browse more AMIs, retire, retire. So till now we were using Linux machines, right? So today I'll take Windows machines. Okay. So if it is Windows, come down and I'll go with 2022 base. Click on select. Okay. T2 micro. And then let's go with 530 PM bench, edit, and I'll go with 1A, select default, and then launch. And then I launched one more EC2 instance called server 2. So if I want to launch same type of Windows machine, so can I use this concept? Launch more like this? I can use it, no? So I click on it. It's not running yet, no? So, okay. So here, launch more like this. Instead of calling server 1, I call it as server 2. and it is Windows, and go with this. And then should I put it to 1B? Yes. Default security group, and then launch. Okay. So I have two EC2 instances ready. Okay. You know very well how to log into this Windows EC2 instance, yes or no? So let's wait and then log into the EC2 instance. So before that, what is the topic that we need to talk? Volumes. So how many EC2 instances are there here? 2. So how many volumes will be there? 2 only, correct? We have root volume for each machine. So how many volumes will be there? 2 volumes. If you go to the volumes here and you see 2. So can you easily identify which volume is attached to which EC2 instance? Generally, is it possible? Not possible, but generally, can you see do you understand by this, which volume is attached to which EC2 instance? No, but if you want to know what you need to, you need just drag and you see here, server 2. So first one is server 2. So can I change it like this? Server 2. Which volume is this? Root volume. Can I label like this? Can I tag it? So that so this one is server 1. So in real time, it will be really, really good if you try to manage the tags like this. So by seeing now the volumes, can easily identify which servers is which type of volume is that? Yes. And if you want to know whether this is root volume or additional volume, how do you know? Using the device name. So what is the device name for the root volume? /dev/sda1. So if you see it is as it is attached as /dev/sda1, so then you need to consider that is a root volume. And on which server you have attached is that server. Nice. Okay. So let's move on here. So both are running. Okay, first one is done. So should we go and log into the first one? Okay, I copied it. And I open what? Very good. Remote desktop. Paste it and then try to connect. What's the username? Administrator. And password, how do you get it? Security, get Windows password, upload, and PEM file. And then decrypt it. And this is the password. Paste it out here. Click on yes. Okay, ma? Okay. So on which server did I log in now? Server 1 or 2? Server 1, huh? Okay. So I logged into the server 1. So now let's go to the here and server 1. So as it is has only 1 GB RAM, so it is taking time to load. And by the way, so let's go to the volumes here and go to actions. So first one here is modify volume. What is another? Modifying. So I'll come to this later. So let's take now here snapshot. So now I have these volumes. I want to take the backup of the volume. What is the backup of the volume called? Snapshot. How to take a snapshot? How do you take the snapshot? Go to select the whichever you want and click on create snapshot. Once you click on it and call it as this is Windows Snap, and just click on create snapshot. So do you all understood how to create a snapshot? It's very easy. And if you want to take these snapshots automatically, so what is the concept that we use? Data Lifecycle Manager. And do you see this on the left side? We have Lifecycle Manager. There we'll go and create a policy, how to create the snapshots automatically. So now we have taken the snapshots manually. Create snapshot lifecycle policy is related to the same Lifecycle Manager. We'll talk soon. And then here we have delete volume. Why delete volume is grayed out? Why delete volume is grayed out? Because it is attached. Because it is attached. I told you in the theory, is it possible to delete the volume while it is in attached state? No. What you need to do first? You need to first stop and then detach it. And then you can delete it. Okay. So that's why it is grayed out. Attached volume is already attached. That's why it is grayed out. And here, detach. Can I go and detach it? Okay. So Nana, on which EC2 instance I have logged in? Server 1. So should I try it for server 2? Yes or no? Because I already logged in, no? So detach. Tell me, is it possible to detach this? Yes or no? Why? Huh? Okay, now click on detach. Is it possible to detach? Answer is no. Why? Okay, it is running, but you need to use the word. What type of volume is this? Is it possible to detach the root volume while EC2 is running? So what you need to do? Stop the EC2 instance and then detach it. So which EC2 instance I need to stop? Server 2. So go to the instances and select server 2 and then stop. Stopping, stopped. So let's wait until it is stopped. Okay, now it is stopped. So let's go to volumes. And now which server, which one I need to select? Server 2, go to actions and then detach and click on detach. So now I did detached. Yes. So how do you know it is detached? If you come here, now it was in use before, now it is available. So available. So if the state, if the volume state is in available, that means is it attached to any of the EC2 instance? No. So now it is available. Do you know how to detach the root volume? So in order to detach the root volume, first what you need to stop the EC2 instance. But is it for additional volume? Do you need to stop the EC2 instance? Not good. You can detach it directly. So here, now I have showed you how to detach the root volume. Now, as it in detached state, is it possible for me to go and start server 2? Will it work? Definitely no. Because there is no heart. If there is no heart, is it possible to be alive? No. Similarly here, the root volume is detached. So is it possible to start the EC2 instance? You will get an error. Okay. So what we need to do it again? We need to attach it again. So I'll show you how to attach the root volume. So now select it here, actions, and here do you see this attach volume is gray? It's now enabled. Click on attach. And do you see that the delete volume is there? Okay. Server 2. And you see delete volume is also enabled. So now I'm going in attach volume to which EC2 instance? Server 1 or server 2? Server 2. And do you see server 2 is there? Why server 1 is not listing? Huh? No, that is not the reason. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No. Huh? No, no. Excellent. Because the volume is in which availability zone? 1B. So 1B volumes can be attached to which is type of which availability zone EC2 instance? 1B only. So here 1A volume 1A EC2 instances are visible here? No, because as the volume is in 1B, you can attach only to 1B EC2 instances. That is the reason, not about running or stopped or it has already. No. Okay. So as it is in 1B, only 1B EC2 instance will be listed. Understood? Okay. Now I selected server 2. And what is the device name? What volume is this? Root volume or additional volume? Root volume. So root volume should be always attached as, what is the device name for it? /dev/SDA1. So do you see here? Recommended device name for Windows /dev/SDM for root volume. And for additional volumes, it can be XVD all the way from F to P. That meaning your additional volume device name can be XVDF, XVDG. Thank you. After that, XVDH. So like this, you can go all the way till P. But root volume should be always /dev/SDA1. I told you this already, because whenever your EC2 instance is started, the EC2 instance will look for operating system to boot. So how does it identify whether which volume has operating system? Using the device name. So if you have attached the volume as /dev/SDA1, then EC2 instance will identify, oh, this has the volume because it attached as /dev/SDA1. It has operating system. Okay, now? So now it should be /dev/SDA1 and click on attach. Attached. Now it is in use. So do you all understood how to attach and detach the root volumes? Okay. There's a question. Sir, so one volume can be attached to two EC2 instances if they are in same availability zone? One volume can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? Yes or no? Answer is no. One volume, one EC2 instance only. Remember, if it is in the same availability zone also, one volume can be attached to only one EC2 instance. But remember, there is another type. Which type? Huh? Which type? There is another EBS volume type which can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. IO1 and IO2. Very good. Which one? IO1, IO2. So IO1, IO2 volumes can be attached to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. How many? 16. Fantastic. How many? 16. But normal, this GP2, GP3, whichever it is, one volume can be attached to multiple EC2? Not possible. Okay. Good. So we have seen how to attach, detach it. Let's see what else we have. This one is force detach. Root volume can be force detached? No. So this force detach concept will work only for additional volumes. Because let's say you have an EC2 instance, you have a EC2 instance and you have D drive. D drive is additional volume or not? So we have a D drive and someone is already working inside the D drive. Is it possible for you from the backend to detach this volume? Not possible. Even though can you detach it? You can detach it. Do you need to stop the EC2 instance? Not required. You can detach the additional volume. But as someone is already working inside it, it says that not able to detach. Then what you do? Go and forcefully detach it. So this force detach I'll show you what this force detach. And then here managed auto enable IO. So IO is already enabled. So would you go and disable it? Don't disable it, right? So don't disable it. It's not good to disable it. Tags. You can ignore this fault injection because it's newly came up. So basically this one, in order, if you want to pause any IO for the volumes and you want to write to another volumes like failover on the volume side. So this is newly launched, which is called fault injection. It's not required at the moment. So rest everything is okay. So now what I do is, let's work on modify volume now. On which server I have logged in now? Server 1. So this is my server 1. I open this PC. And you see this? We have C drive. What is the size of the C drive? 30 GB. How much? 30 GB. Now, you have a requirement. This is a real-time requirement, guys. So this 30 GB is not sufficient. Some customer or some employee said that, hey, my C drive is full. My C drive is full. What will you do? Increase the volume. There are two things. Either you increase the volume size or attach a additional volume, create a additional volume as D drive. But here customer saying that please increase the volume size. So we have how much size we have now at the moment? 30 GB. Assume that is full. Now you want to increase it to how much? Let's say 50 GB. Increasing 50 GB, increasing 500 GB, both are same or different? Same only. Only the number you need to change. If you put one more zero, bill. Remember? So what you need to do is you just need to increase it. So increase it only small amount of GB. Don't go for the large amount because the procedure concept is same for both of them. So now, should we go and increase this 30 GB to 50 GB? Everyone? Yes? So, okay. Now, so which volume I need to select? Server 1 or server 2? Server 1. And then go to actions and click on modify volume. If you click on modify volume, do you see this here? By default, what is the volume type here? GP2. So in real time, you might get some requirement that, hey, please change the volume type from GP2 to IO1, IO2, whichever it is. Can you change it? Possible. Do you see? You can change it to any. But this root volume supports only what volume types? GP2, GP3, IO1, IO2, standard. Except ST1, SC1. For that reason, do you see any XT1, XC1 here? No. For that reason, root volume supports only this. So you can change this volume type also. But here our requirement is what? To increase the size. So I'm increasing from 30 GB to 50 GB. Nana, is it possible to decrease to 25? I told you, no, volume size can only be increased, cannot be decreased. And do you see this here? The size of the volume can only be increased, not decreased. There is a question, why ST1, SC1 not supported? Because that is a SSD or HDD? HDD. Those are HDD. So compared to SSD, HDD is faster or slower? Slower, no? So would you keep HDD for your operating system drive? And that too, that is for not frequently for cheaper price, and the performance is not up to mark. For that reason, it doesn't support. Okay, now I'm increasing to 50 nano. Okay, now I click on modify. And I click on modify. Okay. Server 1, it still shows 30 GB. If I refresh it, it shows 50 GB. Easy. So now if we go to here, if I refresh here, how much it show? 50 GB. So let's refresh. It still shows 30 GB only. Why? So we need to do some magic here or not? Remember, AWS will give you the volume from outside. Does AWS has access inside your EC2 instance to do some changes here? No, we need to do it manually. So guys, you need to do some small operation here. So what you need to do is you need to go to, do you see here? Right click on this and go to disk management. Where should go, Nana? Disk management. Click on disk management. Expand this. And do you see this? How much is the C drive here? 30 GB. But do you see 20 GB is unallocated? So AWS has allocated from the backend, but you need to allocate it for your machine. Does AWS has access to go to disk management? No. For that reason, we need to go and do the disk management. So now you want to create a new volume or you want to extend the volume? Extend, no? For that meaning, here you need to right click, or in 20 GB you need to right click. Right click on the 30 GB. Right click it. And then what you need to do? Extend volume. Okay, now right click on extend volume. Click on extend volume and your favorite step, next, and then finish it. Now you see, and come back, close this. And if I refresh this, 50, right? So is it possible to, is it required to stop the EC2 instance for this? I told you, no, you can increase the volume size on fly. What's the meaning of fly? No need to have any downtime. Okay. So not only 50 GB, Nana. So 500 GB also, 5000 GB also, you can increase the same way. Understood? So it is very nice for customer like that, if he asks, hey, can you please increase the size? He think that is a very major thing. What you do from the back end? Increase it, did. And then you ask customer to please check it. And automatically 30 GB has become 300 GB. It is a wow or not? Just looking like a wow. Huh? Clear, Nana? So you understood how to increase the volume size? Okay. Now I'll show you how to add a additional volume. That is as a very, very common real-time requirement that many people will come and ask you to increase the volume size or to go and add a new additional volume. So if you want to add an additional volume, so we need to create a volume or not? Yes. And do you see here, we have a create volume. Which one would you choose? But which is, because additional volume, now whatever you're creating additional volume is free or billable? It's billable. So that means you need to go for the worst one, correct? Because you don't want to get bill, no? But everything is same or not? Selecting it is only the same. So go for the magnetic. And how much would you go for? 100, how much? 10 is fine. But don't put worst 1 GB, Too much. 1 GB is... huh? Okay. AWS will say, ఎవరు నువ్వు ఇంత talented గానా? Okay. So just put that 10 GB because we just wanted to create an additional volume. So you are not putting any data inside. No, for that reason, don't go for the maximum size. Or what is the maximum size that you can go for? 16 terabyte. For magnetic, it's not 16 terabyte, I think. It just only 1024 gigabyte, 1 TB maximum. Because it's magnetic, no? So if you go for the bigger ones, I mean GP2, then it is 16 TB. So let's go for magnetic. Let's change to 10. Chiti, you tell me, is it Inky Pinky Ponky or which one I need to select here? 1A na 1B na? Why 1A? Because EC2 instance is in 1A. Excellent. So select here 1A. And you want a fresh volume or you want to create from some snapshot? Fresh volume. So if you want to create a fresh volume, don't select this snapshot. And I told you, while creating a volume, you can encrypt it. Yes or no? It's just a matter of click and automatically select this key. But we are not encrypting it now. That's it. And click on create volume. And by the way, make sure magnetic 10 GB. Click on create volume. And here give the nice name, no? Which one? Server 1 additional volume. So if you give the names like this in real time, see how nice it looks like. I'm telling you, whenever you join your companies and if you get a chance to handle the account, remember, do like this. Your life will be easier. Now, starting, you will just create like this. Just imagine if you start to have getting 100 volumes and you will go mad. But 101 is very minimum that every company has. Many companies has 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 volumes will be there. So you need to manage it, no? So you need to do that. You need to manage the tax. It's very important. Okay, now I created a additional volume of standard, which is 10 GB. Now in which state this will be? Available state, no? If I refresh it, it is in available state. So can I go and attach it now? Select one, select this, go to actions and attach volume. To which EC2 instance? Server 1. And what is the device name here? XVDF is fine or not? Excellent. So select and click on attach volume. Now, now the volume is attached. Volume is attached. Now let's go to EC2 instance and refresh it. Do you see the volume? Where should you go now? Disk management. So go here, click on disk management and open this. Disk 0 is C drive. Disk 1 is D drive. But disk 1 is showing offline, no? Should we make it online? Right click, online. What is showing now? Not initialize. Should we initialize? Right click, initialize. Okay. Now it shows online. And here, sir, why offline? By whenever, if any new disk got attached, by default, it will be in offline state. You need to go and enable it. Okay. And then here, right click on this. You need to create a simple volume because it's a D drive, additional volume, So click on new simple volume. Again, your favorite thing. Click on next, next. But which drive you want? D drive. If you want to put E drive, F drive, whichever it is, B drive, D drive. Have you ever wondered why it always start with C drive, not A drive and B drive? Huh? Unnecessary things. Huh? So, so click on next, and then finish it. Okay. Now there we go. We have the D drive. Okay. So now if you get a requirement to increase the size of D drive to 50 GB, can you do it? Yes or no? Similar thing. How do you do it? Select the volume, increase it, come here, disk management, and extend it. Make it online for new volumes. But here I'm asking you increase to 10 GB to 20 GB, for example. So what you need to do? You need to extend it. The same we did it for C drive, no? Similar thing. Clear, Nana? Online, is this clear? How to deal with the volumes? Excellent. So, okay. So let's see here. I went to D drive. I put one text document. I'm putting. So that meaning I'm working on the D drive. Okay. So now I want to detach this additional volume. Is it possible to detach while EC2 is running? Additional volume. Yes, no. Additional volume, yes. So let's go ahead and go to actions and go ahead and then detach. Detach. I select this. Is it available? Did it detached? Now what you need to do? Yes, go here. Detach volume is grayed out. Now, first detach. First detach. Refresh. It is still in use. It is still in use. Okay. So now, and do you see this now? It is in available state. Okay. Is it clear, guys? So that is all that is on force detach volume. But is it good to force detach it? Because your customer are working or some employees are working inside the D drive, if you force detach it, unnecessarily there will be a data inconsistency issue will come or not. For that reason, maximum tell your customer or tell to your employee saying that, Babu, do not at 11 o'clock exactly, I'll detach it. Don't log in. Or ask them to log out first, or make sure that everyone has logged out and then you detach it just for safer side. If no one is listening to your words, then use your power. Okay. Okay, so that is on force detach. So we have discussed about all these things. Now let's talk about create snapshot lifecycle policy. If you click on it, directly it will go to this. Or if you go here also, it does the same thing. Same, both are same. Okay, now, what is this Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager? What is it, Nana? Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager. What is this used for? It used to automatically create snapshots and AMIs. So if you want to create automatic, if you want to take the snapshot automatically, I told you, I still remember we used to write a Python program using Lambda to take the snapshots automatically. Just imagine you have 100 snapshots. Just imagine how many you have. 100 snapshot. And out of 100, I want to take 50 snapshots. Will you take it manually? Click, right click, create snapshot. Right click, go to actions, create snapshot. Select to go to actions. Now, is it possible to do that? No. So what you need to do? Go with the data lifecycle manager. So from here, you can create a policy. But how do you identify which volume you need to take the snapshot? Using tags. So that meaning you need to maintain the tags beforehand also. Yes or no? Yes. So we need to manage the tags. Okay, now, should we go with the AMI or should we go with the volumes? We'll go with the snapshot volumes. So now, let's go to volumes. And we have these volumes, no? Let's select a tag. We give a tag. Okay, again, now I have 3 volumes, Nana. I want to take only 1 volume backup every day. So how do I identify using tags now? If I want to take 2 volumes, so should I keep the same tag or different tag? Same tag. You can use different tag also. If you have only 3, 4, 10, you can use different tags. But if you have bulk, good to have same tag. So now I'm going and taking the additional volume backup snapshot. How? Go for tags and then manage tag. Give some tag, no? Let's say backup is equal to yes. So if any volume has if any volume has the tag backup is equal to yes, that will be backed up. Should we go and create a policy now? How? Click on Lifecycle Manager. Which one would you select for? AMI or snapshots? Snapshot policy. Click on next. So target is your volume instance. Volume. If you go for AMI, instance. So I'm going for the volume. And target resource tags. So you want to target with what tag? Backup is equal to yes. Select here. Backup is equal to yes. Click on add. So how many volumes are there? How many different tags are there? Those many tags you need to add it here. If you're maintaining same tags, 1 tag is enough. Based on project also, if you have, based on project, you can enable the tags. You can add the tags. Clear? And here, give some name, my life cycle policy. Role. Role will be created automatically. You can select a default role. Policy status is enable. Is it clear? The first step. First step, select the volume and select the tag and click on next. And you can take this, you can schedule it this backup or not every day. Generally, when you take the backups, morning, afternoon, evening, night. Generally, when? Night, why? So remember, all kind of maintenance activities like backups, any kind of maintenance activities, you need to do out of your office hours. That can be end of the day or preferably night. If your customer is in US, then backups need to be taken in the daytime of hours. Understood? So because whenever you're taking the backups, it might impact a little bit of load on your volumes because it's taking the backups, right? So there will not be any performance impact for sure. But just in case, why to have this kind of things? Just avoid it and then take the backups in the night or out of office hours. Okay. So now you want to schedule it, give the name, and you want to take it daily or weekly, monthly, yearly, your wish. That is purely depend upon your requirement or not. So I'm saying daily I want to take. At what time, starting it, and it is time is in which zone? UTC. So what is our UTC time? UTC time. How much? 12:52 p.m. So generally we take night, no? So if you want to check it is working or not, so should we give here 12:52, no? So 12:55, or 7 at least. I just want to show you whether it will trigger or not. So count how many snapshots that you want to keep it. It's up to you, no? Yes or no? So let's say you have created this policy. You have created this policy. Every day it will take the snapshot. And that meaning if it is for 1 month, how many snapshots will be there? 30 snapshot. So you need to pay for all the snapshot. So does you really require 30 days of backup? Please check with our customer and find out. So how many, what is the retention type here? How much is the retention? So if we say 5 days, 7 days, that's fine. Now at the moment, I'm putting only 1 day. And these are all optional, Nana. These are all optional. So tagging you can give. Snapshot archiving. Remember we did archiving? So by default, your snapshot, which in which tier? Standard tier. But additionally, if you want that to move it to archive, you can move it. So, and then remember fast snapshot restore FSR. Billable? Yes, remember? But if you want to restore it immediately and use high potential, I mean, with low frequency, immediately if you want to utilize it, then go for fast snapshot restore, enable it. Cross region copy. What's that? Have we done this cross region copy? Cross region copy. Not cross stars. Cross region copy is nothing but copying to another region. Did you work on it? Did you copy it to another island region, some other region? Yes or no? So now you are taking the backups. That means snapshot. This snapshot will be in which region? Mumbai region. Just in case if you want to have a copy of this snapshot in another region also, you can enable this. So now we can ask, sir, why do they do like this? Have you heard about DR, disaster recovery? So just in case you are taking the backups in which region that you have the backups? Mumbai region. Which region? Mumbai region. So just in case if something happened to Mumbai region in AWS, all your backups are there. So your business will continue. Yes or no? There is a business continuity issue will come or not. So if you want, if you don't want to have this kind of problem, so keep one set in another region as a part of DR. What is DR? Disaster recovery. Something goes wrong, then you have the backups in another region. So if you want to enable it and which region, but remember, additional charges apply. And can you have your backup snapshot in another account also completely? If you're really scared about what happened if this entire account goes off, then you can share it additionally to some of your other AWS account. So these are all optional. Do you all understand how to create it? And click on now, review policy, and finally create policy. Understood, Nana? So now exactly at 12:57, automatically snapshot will be taken. How many snapshots? Only one. So just imagine if the tag is it for your 50 volumes, how many snapshots will be there? 50 snapshots will be automatically created on the spot. So if you want to take the snapshots automatically, then Lifecycle Manager. Not only snapshot, you can take AMIs also. You can take, yeah. You have the EC2 instance. Manage the tags for the EC2 instance. Create a policy for AMI and target with the tags which you have for the EC2 instance. Create a policy. Clear? Everyone. Online, is it clear, Nana? So is it clear about the volumes and the Lifecycle Manager? Any questions? Okay, Nana? Okay. So we are done with this here volume snapshot lifecycle manager. Do we know this? Secret groups, elastic IPs, placement groups. Remember, we create a placement group. You don't need to do any practical placement group. Just create a group. While launching the EC2 and select the group. Keypads, network interfaces. Remember, automatic. How many EC2 instances are there? 2 EC2 instances. So how many network interfaces will be created? 2. Okay. Correct, Anil, exactly. Vaishnav is asking, sir, how to deal with volumes in Mac? What? Mac is in your local laptop, correct? Okay, I understood your question, but let's wait for that. Okay, what is the next topic, Nana? Load balancer. So as still we have half an hour left, should we continue with the load balancer? I'll just go with the theory first, and then we'll go for the practicals maybe tomorrow. Let's go with the theory here. So, but is it clear till here, everyone? Yeah. So do I need to have my EC2 instance running now? Not required, no. So I'll just go ahead and then terminate, no. Click on terminate. AMI, huh? There's no AMI. Oh, see. Ah. It is not necessary that to delete the AMI always first in snapshot. Remember, snapshots which are created from AMI, that for that you need to delete AMI first and then snapshot. But generally, if you create a snapshot, you can delete it directly. So now I go to the snapshot. Can I delete it this? Because I created, no. So you thought that, select it and then delete snapshot. Deleted, no? Hmm. So you have the EC2 instance. Both are terminated. And one major thing here is if you go to dashboard, if you refresh it, everything should be 0 except keep and secure. And do you see here we have 2 volumes? So we need to delete this. Because you have expanded this, no? Delete. So be careful. You need to delete it because additional volume will be charged. So expanding the volume from 30 GB, 50 GB, what would be the approximate bill? Very cents, not in dollars. It will be in cents. That meaning very limited. Okay, ma. So, and also we have the lifecycle manager now created. Go here and then delete it. Super. Okay. Now let's talk about which one? Load balancer. Which one, Nana, here? Load balancer. So in order to create a load balancer, what are the steps? So how many EC2 instances minimum you should have? 2, no? Minimum how many you should have? 2. So what we do is, today, listen this carefully. What we have to do is, how many EC2 instances that you want to launch? 2 EC2 instances. Okay, now. And as we are using, load balancer, that meaning we need to put some sample application or not. That meaning here, we need to deploy a sample application called index.html. Otherwise, what do you access to the load balancer? You need to access some application, no? So what is the application that we deploy here? Index.html. So I'll put it this EC2. This is EC2. I'll put this in 1A. I'll put this in 1B. Okay, now. But this index.html is a small application. I'm not going for a big Java .NET applications. I'm going with a small application because application deployments you'll be learning specially in DevOps. As we are learning about AWS, we'll concentrate more on the AWS part. Deployments you will be learning from DevOps. So now as we need one sample application, I'll go with one small sample application. But this time, this application, I will be deploying this application using user data. Which one? Remember user data. What is user data? What is user data? Bootstrap script. Remember that. What is user data? Bootstrap script. Bootstrap script meaning what? I told you when you're launching the EC2, if you go to additional, I mean, advanced section, user data, a big box will be there, no? Do you remember that or not? What, Darren? No, huh? I see your feeling. So if you click on launch instance, if you come all the way down in advanced details, do you see this here? User data. So here we need to put script, no? If it is Linux machine, what script that we use? Shell script. Which one? Remember? So I want to deploy the application using this script, not manually. We'll take that real time. We will deploy the application using script. Which script? Shell script. So we need to write some small shell script or not in order to put the application. So for that, we'll use one shell script. What is the shell script? We'll see now. So somewhere I have that script. Okay. So this is the script, Nana. Sorry. This is the script. Don't worry about this. I'll talk about this script. Okay. So before I talk about this script, this is what script? Shell script. What script is that? Shell script. But you need to know what is shell now first. What is shell? Okay. So before this, to talk about the script, shell script will be executed on which type of operating systems? Linux. Which one? Linux. So I asked it, did you guys attending classes, Linux? No, not yet started. Huh? Okay. So few minutes I'll talk about Linux. Okay. Huh? You like it, no? Okay. So let's have some fun. Which one is first? Linux is first or Unix is first? Which one is first? Unix or Linux? Have you heard about Unix? So Unix is first or Linux is first? Answer is Unix. Which one? Do you know how Unix started? No. You want some small chitty story? Huh? Which I have never heard. I don't know whether the Linux trainers will say this or not. Okay, quickly I'll say. So there is a person called Ken Thompson. Who is that? Ken Thompson. On those days, you need to go back for so many years back. Let's go to flashback. Ring, 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 ring. Let's go to flashback. So on those years, only one operating system was there in the market. That was Windows. Which was Windows. And that too, Windows was not the Windows that you are using now. It was DOS. Which one? Do you remember? Anyone knows DOS? Huh? Right? DOS was that. DOS meaning disk operating system, where you don't have these many GUI. You don't have any GUI. If you power on the machine, CPU on those days, I still remember when I was in my school days, at that time, computer was not that meaning, not that old, but still I'm saying, right? On those days, maybe 20 years back, at that time where the computer was, it was coming all the way in our some villages and all. So I still remember on those days, the computer was, you remember that small screen with it has a big back? Right? And then you have the CPU, right? So if you switch on the CPU and Windows will open. Remember Windows XP? Windows Enter, he was even previous. So whenever you open that, not XP, not XP, it was even older one. 98 was there. So at that time, only disk operating system. That meaning whenever you open, only command prompt will open. And whatever you need to do it, you need to write through commands. There is no mouse, there is no GUI, there is no desktop, there is no folders, nothing. Everything is through command line only. Like how we are doing Linux nowadays. At those time also, it was the same thing. So when and how many people will be using your computer at one time? One person, one user, one process. One user. On those years, Windows was one single user, single process only. Whenever you open the command prompt, only command prompt will open. Any other application will open? No. Nothing was there. So the concept was single user, single process. Single user, say that, single user, single process. So Ken Thompson, what has happened is one business deal came to Ken Thompson, and some guy said to Ken Thompson, "Hey Thompson, I want you. Can you help me? We need to start one new business. I want you to develop a space war game." What's that? You know, space war game. Nowadays you have so many games, no? PUBG, GIBG. Similarly, space war game is there. Now tell me, space war game will be played by only one person or multiple persons? One person possible, lah. In the space, you only nothing will have, right? Multiple people will be should be there. But on those days, Windows were single user, single process. Space war is possible through Windows. For that reason, people came with to Thomson and said that, Ken Thompson, I want, please develop something. For this, he need to have multi-user, multi-process. Yes or no? For this game, he need to have multi-user, multi-process where Windows was not supporting. And Windows was top #1 on those days. And later what he decided was, he started his own kernel. I mean, own operating system. And he named as Unix. Unix was multi-user, multi-process. And by seeing this, Windows also came up with the multi-user, multi-process concept with Windows GUI based. And that too, the problem was Windows was licensed, whereas whatever Ken Thompson has developed, that was open source. It's completely free. Values. It's free. So what has happened was later, Ken Thompson has to take his software, need to install on machines or not. So his operating system should be portable. What is the meaning of portable? You need to take that in somewhere in pen drive and then put it in some laptop and then install it. It should be portable. It should be portable. But whatever the Ken Thompson has developed was not portable. Later, he has a good relation. He has combined with another extraordinary scientist, and his name is Dennis Ritchie. Which one? Have you heard about his name? Who is that? You don't know Dennis Ritchie? Not Java. C language, father of C. Who is father of C? Dennis Ritchie. So this Ken Thompson and then Dennis Ritchie, they both worked together, and then they compiled the entire Ken Thompson code in C language, and they made it portable. You want to see those people? Ken Thompson. You see that, sir? Huh? Should be. You want his address? You see? He is Ken Thompson, and I think you want Ken Thompson, and do you see that? This is the combination of both of them, and he is Dennis Ritchie. Ken Thompson, Dennis Ritchie. Unix operating system. Do you see this? patent number, Unix operating. So they both developed this. Good to see them, no? Huh? Hey, address Petra. Huh? Okay, fine. So these both. So what they did was, and I'll speed up. So they made a very nice Unix operating system. Okay, they made a very nice Unix operating system, and they made it as open source. As they have made it as open source, Windows operating system market fell down because Windows was license based, no? So no one was using Windows. Everyone are going with the Linux, that too multi-process, multi-user, multi-process concept. So as it has made the open source, other so many scientists, so many extraordinary mindset people are there, no? Those so many scientists, what they did is they took this code and they have developed their own features on top of it. And like this, so many, have you heard about AT&T Labs? AT&T Labs, there's so many big universities are there, Bell universities. So there are so many big universities were there where these people, what they did was they took this Unix code and started creating multiple features on top of it. Later, so many created like this, and finally, there is a person called Andy Tannenbaum. Who's that? Um, not Jandu Baum. Andy Tannenbaum. You want to see that? Huh? Takla? Hmm? Then I still remember. I don't. And then oh, this guy, your professor. Okay. This his name is Andrew, but people call as Andy also. He's not my friend. Okay. So that guy, Andy, what he did was, guys, he is the person where he has the latest Unix version with maximum number of features. And this fellow had made it have removed the concept of open source, and he started selling the operating system for money. As he started selling with more, Unix has become very expensive. Windows were cheaper. Again, Windows came up because these guys started selling it. And it was happening like this for many years. Did you know that I worked in a country called Finland? I worked in a company. I worked in Finland for so many years. Finland University was there. You know, Finland is a very nice country. Uh, Nokia, Syed. So Nokia started there itself, manufacturing. Okay, so student like you, generally in the academic, you do the projects, no? Final year project. So there was a student in Finland University where he wanted to do some project. Where he wanted to do a project. So what that student did was he wanted to do something really nice. So he went to that Andy Babai. He went to Andy and said, "Hey, Andy, can you give me your code? I'll do some project on it." And what Andy said? No, I will not. So for this student, somewhere he got fired up. Ekro Kali. So what he did was, why I want to take Andy's code, let me take Ken Thompson code. That means that was open source, no? And he took that actual open source code and he started developing his own features and his own operating system, his own kernel, because he's a very genius guy. And whatever that student has developed, the operating system, and he named as Linux. And his name is Linus Torvalds. Who is that? Linus Torvalds. Not only this, he has developed many big, nice applications, which is very commonly used in our IT industry. Okay. So Understood? So that's how actually Unix and Linux came into picture. And again, this Linus Torvald made it as open source. And for that reason, again, Linux came up. Okay. So this Linux, everything will start with, guys, Windows is completely different and Linux is based on directory. Based on directories. Yes or no? So in Linux, everything will start with slash. Yes or no, guys? Everything will start with slash. Slash is called root directory. If you take Windows, in Windows you have C drive, no? And all your softwares will be installed in which directory? C drive. Inside C drive, what you have? Program files is there, no? All softwares will be in program files, and user profile will be created, no? Where C users. Remember. So for each and everything, there is separate folder in Windows. Similarly, in Linux also, you have different types of directories. For each and every directory holds some very important task. So like this, you have root directory. Inside this, you have so many directories. Can you tell me a few directories? In Linux, slash etc, slash, I call it a slash home, slash bin, slash var. So like this, we have so many directories. Like all your softwares will be in etc directory. All your user profiles will be under home directory. All your binaries, libraries will be inside the binary. All the logs will be inside your var logs. Remember, like this, Unix has a directory structure. And if you want me to, that is hidden file. It's not Doordarshan, okay? So the architecture will be like this. What you have in the middle? Hardware. On top of it, you have kernel. And after kernel, you have shell. And on top of it, you have the command prompt, your applications, CMD. All your commands will be on the CMD or not? Okay. Can you list down few commands, Nana? Linux commands? Huh? Go on. mkdir, ls, touch, pwd, cat, vim, cd, cp, move, rm, tail, head, df commands, man, what else? Who am I? Hmm? Hmm. Kill command. Sudo, ps commands, or else. So basically, you have, okay. So guys, you have your mentor announcement. So I'm giving for a minute, please.
Hi guys, good evening. I'm Rohit, AWS mentor. Your practicals are going on, but most of the students are not coming to lab. You have lab facilities in the third floor. Come and utilize the facilities. You have Wi-Fi facilities. Utilize them. Bring your own laptop. We are here to clear your doubts. And online students, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You have two online sessions. Link might be shared with you. Some students are joining also. So you can join and ask your doubts. And for NRI students, we are having a special doubt session 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Kindly join and ask your doubts, clarify your doubts, be clear with your subject. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So do you see this here? So we have all the commands. So see here, guys. Now all these commands will be executed on your command prompt. Yes or no? So whenever you hit mkdir or ls, whichever it is, so it will go to shell, and shell will talk to kernel, and kernel will take the resources from hardware. Hardware will give the resources to kernel. What is kernel? Kernel is a core component of operating system. Operating system is just a name, but actually the code where it is located in the kernel. So kernel will give the details to shell, and shell will execute and give it to command prompt. So can we say shell is a interface between your kernel and command prompt? Yes or no? Shell is very shy. Abba Pursh type. Shell is very shy. So whatever you give, the commands, the shell will take. In shell also, you have different types of shells. What are those? C shell is there. Bash shell is there. C shell is there. Right? K shell is there. Right? Z shell is there. Con shell is there. So they have different types of shells are there. Now all these shells are located in bin directory. Which directory? Bin directory. So which is the latest shell that we are using now? It is bin bash. Which one, Anna? Bin bash. So bin bash is the latest shell that we are using it. So this shell is located in which directory? Bin directory. So all the shells will be in which directory? Bin directory. And all your home directories will be in which directory? Home directory. Let's say, for example, what is the default username for Linux? EC2 minus user. So the home directory for EC2 minus user is /home/EC2 minus user. If Tom has joined, what is this? /home/Tom. If Jerry has logged in, /home/. So these are the home directories for it. Okay. And you understood, Anna? So okay, I'm slowly going deeper into Linux. That is not our topic. So, but you understood. So a little bit of Linux from my side. So let's go back. So what is the default? What is the latest shell that we are using? Bin bash. We call it as born again shell. What is it called? Born again shell. So born shell is the first shell, and the latest shell is born again shell. So what is the shell that we are using? Everyone say bin bash. Which one? Bin bash. So whenever you want to execute any script, you need to have the shell information or not. Without shell, can your shell will execute? Will your code is execute? Your commands will execute? No. For that reason, now come back here, and do you see this here? What is the first line here? Bin bash. That meaning we are giving the shell information. We are giving the shell information. And the first line of the script that we call it as shebang. What is it, Nana? Shebang. The first line of the script, where we give the shell information, we call it as shebang. So in order to execute any command, or in order to, okay, basically, you need to all this, basically, your Linux has majorly two types of distributions, Nana. We call it as RPM based and Debian based. What is it? RPM based and Debian based. In RPM based, we have CentOS, Red Hat, Fedora. All these type of flavors will be there. Nana, see, Unix, Linux, Unix, Linux is same, but you have different types of flavors. How we have ice cream? Ice cream is common, but you have different flavors. Butterscotch, strawberry, that is so many things. Here also same thing. Linux you have, but you have different types of flavors. So mainly we call it as RPM based, Debian. In Debian based, we have something called Ubuntu, SUSE. All these kind of will be in the Debian based. Now the flavors are different, but the concept is same. And the syntaxes are different. What is that? Syntaxes. If you want to install any package in RPM based, so we use yum install. What is the command that we use? In Debian based, we call it as apt-get, apt-get. Understood? So as we are using, which type of operating system that we are using? Red Hat, no. So that means in order to install any package, what is the command that we use? Yum install. Which one? Yum install. Do you see this here? The second line we are talking about yum install. So yum install, what is the package that we are installing here is HTTPD. HTTPD is nothing but Apache. Apache is a web server. What's that? Remember web server we discussed in the starting days? Web server. So web server, basically, it's a web server. It's like a container. It's like a holder. Web server is like a holder. Inside that you have applications. Assume that web server is a vessel. Inside that you have multiple applications. So in order to install, first you need to install the web server or not. So what is the web server that we are using here? Here we call it as HTTPD. Here in Debian we call it as Apache 2. Same thing, but names are different. So here you are installing what, Nana? Installing HTTPD service. Once you install HTTP service, what you need to do? You need to start that service. No, what is the command to start? Service HTTPD start. What's the command to install any package? Yum install. Minus y is there, no? Minus y is meaning for yes for everyone, everything. Generally, when you're installing anything, it will ask, no, hey, you want to install? Yes. Hey, are you sure you want to install? Yes. Hey, are you sure it will take 200 MB? Sure. Are you sure that your friend is asking to install? Are yes for everything, by that is minus y. So once you install HTTPD, what you need to do, Nana? You need to start the service. To start HTTPD service. And here, let's assume you have launched an EC2 instance and HTTP Apache is running, HTTPD is running, and suddenly you stopped and start. Once you stopped and start, HTTPD service will run. It will not run. It will be in which state? Stop state. So what you need to do, you need to log into the machine and then start it. Is it good or bad? It's bad. Because whenever you stop the EC2 instance, you need to go and starting the HTTPD service. It is not good. For that reason, what you need to do, whenever you start the EC2 instance, automatically HTTPD service should start. So in order to auto start, then what is the command that you use? Say that. Check config HTTPD on auto start HTTPD service. So your application should sit on which directory? var www html. Nana, Apache is a vessel, I told you, web server. So where exactly you need to put your application? In var www html. Say that. var www. So your application should sit here. Application should sit here. Okay. And finally, here we have echo. And in single quotes, I have written, hey, this is my first website on EC2. And it is creating one file. What file is that? Index.html. So whatever the data that you have written in echo, all this data will be copied into the index.html. So our index.html will be automatically, dynamically, it will create, and it has the data called, hey, this is my website. Nana, this is a small, simple website application, but you can have a big Java .NET application also, not through user data, into manually go inside the machine and install it. Do you understand the code? And this is a small script that I will be using in our entire course. So in order to talk about the scripts, I took this much time to talk about all the basics in the backend, because basics are important. Is it clear, Nana? So what I do is I'll stop it here. And tomorrow we'll continue this topic, right? So tomorrow we'll see how to set up, create a load balancers and all. Okay, ma? We still have topics here left, but I'll continue tomorrow. And what is your task? Guys, but you have some, I told you I'll be giving some exploring topics. Yes or no? Did I give exploring topics till now? From today, you will get an exploring topics. I'll tell you soon. See here. So See here. So Nana, see here, guys. Launch 4 EC2 instances. Do you remember crosstask? Remember crosstask? What is a crosstalk? I want how to move the volumes from one availability zone to unavailability zone. Using what concept? Snapshot. Remember? Snapshot. So for volume, take the snapshot, create a volume in another availability zone. And for I have another EC2 instance. Remember the crosstask. Use that and do the crosstask. Increase the root volume size 30 to 50, additional volume, and play with attached, detached EC2 root volumes. And a snapshot that you already took it, so no need to do this. So what is the task for you is, I showed you on Windows, I want to do it on Linux. I showed you on Windows. I want you to do it on where, you know, you have a, guys, if you remember, oh, I deleted, see, in volume section, I clicked on modify volume, no? I click on modify and change from 30 to 50 and click on modify. And then immediately a page came to click on modify. There on the top, you have Windows and Linux URLs are there. If you click on Linux, 4 or 5 commands are there. I want you to go through that commands and then complete it on Linux and take the help of mentors. So this is the exploring topic. I'll be making you to come. I'll making you practice to do the because in real time, exploring is very important. No, in real time, whatever the task that I have showed you, I have done, the same task will come or you will get different tasks. You will get same also, you will get difference also. If you get different, will you say that Riya sir didn't told this? Don't say that. Because you need to explore. So I'm making you happy to explore this. So please do this. And extend the existing volume, adding a new volume for the Linux and data lifecycle manager and instances. Will you able to do this? Okay, now I'll put this in your Google Classroom. Nice. Any questions online? So I took 5 minutes extra. Okay. Can you give the final CC for today, please? CC with smile. Okay. So great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the continuation of this topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Good night.